It is 9 a.m.
Are we ready, Danny? Yeah. Okay.
I will call this meeting of the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners to order. We will be abiding by the Open Meetings Act as amended, a copy which is at the entrance to this room. At 9:15, we will also be meeting as the Lincoln County Board of Equalization, also abiding by the Open Meeting Act as amended. First order of business is open with prayer, and would you please join me? Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day. We thank you for the many blessings that we enjoy. Look after those less fortunate than ourselves, that they may seek guidance in your word. Look after the many men and women around the globe and around this area of the country that protect those many freedoms that we enjoy. The men and women in uniform in the military, those in the first responders, law enforcement, provide them with a shield of your armor for their safety. Look after this group as we convene this morning, conducting the business of this county. Give us judgment and wisdom in our decisions. These things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Next, approve the minutes regarding Lincoln County Board of Commissioners meeting held on April 10, 2023.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the minutes regarding the Lincoln County Board of Commissioner meeting held on April 10, 2023.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Hughley. Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
All right. Next order of business is consider the following. First, claims and treasurer's receipts.
Chairman, I would move to approve the claims and treasurer's receipts as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Hughley. Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
All right. Next item is authorize the chairman to sign the pre-award information sheet for the EECBG, which is Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant. And
I asked-
Commissioner, do you have something you would add on this?
Yes, I just asked for this to be put on. I've been working with Judy Clark and Tammy on getting the information. We've had Tyler participate in looking over the documents, and I believe we are ready for your signature, so we can get that submitted. This is for the pre-award information sheet only.
Okay.
If you have any questions, Judy would probably be able to answer them best.
I have one for Judy.
Okay, please. Judy,
Morning.
would you come forward, please?
Morning, Judy.
And please turn that on. I forgot to do that.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, no problem.
As you work through this, and this is just, I know this is preliminary, but we'll have some discretion as to where we apply these funds, should we get those.
Definitely. So basically what this is it's going to go to the federal government. The federal government's gonna look at it and say, yeah, we're gonna give them the $76,000. And then we have to go back with what we are going to use that for. Cost estimates, all those things. We have to have it 100%, what exactly we're gonna use that for. And definitely we would come back here to,
Okay.
let you guys help decide, what we were gonna expend those funds for. Then what happens is we pay whatever the bill is, so let's say we put windows in a building. We're gonna pay that bill, and then we're gonna request for reimbursement from the federal government.
Oh, I see, okay.
I have participated in 2 webinars and a conference call called Business Hours on Friday about it. Very informational, lots of questions have been asked. It seems like a lot of us that are using the voucher program have the same questions. And they will continue to have those calls. They do have a template program that we can use as a guide for whatever project we decide to try to do. And I've looked at some of them, but I haven't really found anything that resonated yet, but there's a lot of them, so I'm still looking through those.
Okay, well, thanks, Judy.
Yep, no problem.
Colleagues, what is your pleasure?
Chairman, I would authorize you to sign the pre-award information sheet for the EECBG, standing for Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Weems.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Hughley. Wheeler.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye. Just one place to sign on this, no date.
And I think Judy put a copy of the actual application in all of our packets.
Okay, next order of business is receive and order filed the fee report submitted by the county sheriff.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move that we authorize you, I believe my last. I move that we receive and order filed the fee report submitted by the county sheriff.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Quick question, the NOHS grant, is that the 20,000 that we just applied for? So this is a previous grant?
That's a reimbursement grant, so we have to do
Okay.
it for the back.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Bruns.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Hughley. Weems.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye. Okay. Next order of business is to authorize the chairman to sign the right-of-way application submitted by Knapp Electric, Inc. This would be for an electrical secondary power line, is that correct? Jason, you have looked at this?
Yep, no objections, they're just crossing the road to get to it, put in power.
Going underground?
Yeah, they'll be open cutting trench across Birdwood.
You have met with them and
Yep.
discussed this, great.
So the yellow points are referenced north of the half mile north, that's just based to describe where it's at? Is that why those are marked up on the top of that section?
Yeah, that's just the reference point, that land road, it's actually 0.2 of a mile south of that.
Oh,
So
okay,
across-
so that's just for a reference, point of
Yeah.
reference,
Yep.
okay. So it is just a singular cut across the road?
Yeah,
And I do have the permit fee check signed here. Colleagues, your preference?
Chairman, I would authorize you to sign the right-of-way application submitted by Knapp Electric Incorporated for a secondary power line on, what was the road again?
It's
Birdwood.
across Birdwood.
On across Birdwood. Just south of the West Land Road intersection, 0.2 miles.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I think that might be the first time I've seen by now. Yes, typically not through.
Particularly to the landowner.
Roll call, please.
Weems.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye. right there.
We're raking it in.
Makes us all feel better.
Yeah.
After the meeting. Right away.
Sure.
He's gonna sit on those claims until
Oh.
10:30 or something.
And then like a bump in the wall. Give him a week off.
About what Keith County has done with their,
Why not you have?
Well, you know, you gotta
Coffee.
back up.
Oh, you had tire rings and Java beans. Jack,
Power rings, Jaffa beans.
How did you expect him to answer that question, Raleigh?
I did it because of his forward employment.
yes.
Sure. Be great.
Okay.
I took the liberty of sticking
Keep
a
my
pile.
dribble. Oh.
Okay, now,
So that the kid
I'm gonna
would
guess
send us
that
up all this
when
stuff.
we get over, can I write you?
Like that 5 minutes is gonna matter one way or the other.
Hopefully you're reading them.
Mm-hmm.
It is 9:15. We will recess as the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners and convene as the Lincoln County Board of Equalization. First item of business is to approve the minutes regarding Lincoln County Board of Equalization meeting held on April 10, 2023.
Chairman, I would move to approve the minutes regarding the Board of Equalization meetings held April 10 of 2023.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye. Next item of business is certificates of correction and refund as submitted by the county assessor. You don't? Well, that is very good news. Thank you. Okay, next item of business is motor vehicle tax exemption applications as submitted by the county treasurer. And good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Alex.
Lincoln County Treasurer.
And it looks as though you may have a couple here for, one. One.
Mr. Chairman, I would make the motion that we approve the application for exemption by the North Platte Opportunity Center for a 2021 Chrysler. Actually, two of them are Chrysler Voyagers used for charitable purposes and used exclusively for transporting clients of the North Platte Opportunity Center, recommended for approval by none other than our own Lincoln County Treasurer.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hughley.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye. Great job. Thank you. Is there any other business to come before the Lincoln County Board of Equalization? Hearing none, we will adjourn at 9:17 as the Lincoln County Board of Equalization and reconvene as the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners. Thank you, ladies.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
Discrepancy is get the ball.
Came back right about perfect. Try to get to 0.
Need to normal.
First, I think we missed.
Good morning, Tristan.
Good morning.
Why you brought it in then?
Yep.
Don't say anything about me, all right?
Don't say anything. No, because I paid for it.
Did you?
Oh, are you throwing stuff at me now?
Yeah, good thing you ducked.
Keeping me on my toes?
Good thing you ducked.
Tristan, we'd be on time today. Good job.
Thanks, Commissioner Weems.
Been juggling a few balls this morning, haven't you?
Just a couple.
Yeah, he did. Of course, I made a smart aleck remark back.
I figured you could hold your own.
Yeah.
Christmas. Apparently that required drive down there.
Nice.
So that was,
Authorize that.
oh, the judge.
Judge's order. Is there one?
Yes.
Well, it's not.
I can't tell who that is. That seems a bit excessive.
You didn't think they'd keep him forever there, did you, Kristen?
You kicked me out. You see a picture of Eddie?
I don't know who that is. Apparently important enough that it required in person. Be interested to see if there's any additional things in her life down there.
What?
Yeah, but it was clearly, it's just confidence.
Claims have not been easy to do.
I'm offended. Richard is pretty. No, not at all.
She's new. Oh, really?
Yeah. I saw that.
City.
Well, I don't know about that, well.
Battery. Must have got a refund on some battery.
Give her time.
Anyway, looks like we get the, well, whatever. Not sure how that works.
Neither. Neither. Who's our city character?
Yeah, Joe. Ask him, they look like half.
Says here, that's our share.
Says it's our share.
It looks like the
Didn't
whole.
say half, I said, it says our share.
Like the whole bill is, see if Joe knows what that is.
It says share of siren repair and batteries. But Kurt said it was the whole bill.
Maybe they just didn't itemize the rest of it.
Says city paid $1,090 up here on this line. So the total bill was $2,180.
Yeah.
City paid $1090. Then there's labor. So our share of the
That is
total
pretty low.
bill was $1,500. The bill was bigger than that.
It should meant to say District Two share.
Oh, okay. It's all yours.
It's all in District
It's
One.
all yours. If you look in the detail, see it says total bill was
Any idea what that is?
2180.
Can you explain that to
City
me?
paid 1090.
Yeah, we
So
see
this
that,
is
but
a-
it's not 50/50. is what we're-
Oh, well, our share must be bigger. Math is hard.
It's good math.
I thought you said it was, you didn't see the share.
See the share, all right.
It's just not even,
Give
huh?
the city manager some grief over
You're the
Case
city
was
manager now?
dismissed.
No, we probably just forfeit his bond for violating one of his bond conditions.
that. They put 3 of the 5 outside.
Why
the
have
city
conditions?
limits On purpose. That's a pro rata, but they wouldn't do that with them. I've just never seen that bill before. Maintenance on this fire.
I think we have an agreement on those.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's usually annual, biannual.
Carol?
Good morning, Jeff.
No, not that at all.
Saw Peggy last week
It's not bad.
down in Lincoln.
Yeah, no, it's not. Think what it'd be like if it was.
Mark, how are you? Doing well.
It is 9:30. The next Next order of business is to discuss and consider planning application submitted by Delmer and Angela Kesterson for Bignell Administrative Subdivision on property located at 7836 South Bignell Road in a TA1 Transitional Agricultural District and described as part of southwest quarter of Section 13, Township 14 North, Range 29 west of the 6 PM, Lincoln County, Nebraska. Yes.
Judy Clark, Lincoln County Planning Administrator. I do want to point out the address is correct. The legal description should be section 26, township 13, range 29. That was a typo on my part. So hopefully we're okay to go ahead and go with it. Nope, okay. So
So,
I'll have to come back next Monday because I did a typo, so we'll just
okay,
do that.
we'll have this on the, and is the Delmer first name, is that spelled correctly, an AR versus an ER?
That's what's on the deed,
Okay, sounds
So-
good. Sounds good, thank you.
but I will double check it since I made the mistake on the rest of it.
Okay. Thank you.
9:30 on Monday. Okay, I apologize.
No, thank you.
Yep.
Our light agenda just got lighter. Our light agenda just got lighter.
I've never seen it spelled with an AR, Delmer.
Yeah. He's an art computer system across the track.
Yes, AR. I got it, I've been spelling it wrong for 40 years.
Used ice skate. Kesterson's. Down in your neck of the woods, Jerry.
Yeah.
I used to ice skate back there when I was a little kid at Grandpa and Grandma Kesterson's back there in the river. Yeah.
What was that?
Okay. Time to go to work, huh?
Hold a Hughley. Felicia must wait and do all of her plans at one time.
I'm writing myself notes. I'm gonna talk to you about this too.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. 90 days, right?
Well, I'll talk to you about that.
Yes. So we had to have that, virtual storage set up. We did that last year. Just take it off. What's this? I don't care. It's down, it's down.
Did he break his chair?
Yeah.
We just kept
Did you
shoving
submit
it
a
that
trouble
way.
ticket?
I gave it right to him.
That's the problem.
He was here.
There's a breakdown in the communication chain.
Yeah, but that was part of the problem. That's why we did the ticket.
Exactly.
He's got a memory like mine.
I write it down and it still doesn't always happen. Yeah.
She did, but she just didn't turn them in. For the ticket.
Would you like to review my notes? Because you might be surprised what they said.
Can we review them in mixed company? Probably not.
Sometimes documenting can get you in trouble.
It is 9:40. Our next agenda item is to discuss and consider a special designated liquor permits submitted by North 40 Chop House for receptions on May 20, 2023 and June 30, 2023 at the Emerald Peak Tent located at 30412 South Effenbeck Road, Curtis, Nebraska. And this is for two events, is that correct, Mackie?
Yes, two different dates, yep.
Tyler, can we take care of these on the same agenda item? Just, each one needs to be handled separately, correct?
Effectively, yes, it's the same place. Both dates are noted in the agenda item, so
We discuss them together, we vote on them separate.
Okay, sounds great. Okay, the first one I have here, now they have a catering license?
There's supposed to be a representative here.
There it is.
Yeah, want me to move forward?
Yes, are you Mark Hammond?
I am, hey.
Please come up and state your name and sign in if you would for us, please.
My name is Mark Hammond. I'm representing the North Forty Chop House. What's the date today?
The date is the 17th of April.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mark.
Good morning.
If you would have a seat and tell us about your events.
I believe that the first one on the agenda is a wedding
Yes.
for about 500 people. And then the second one is a retirement party for a gentleman who works in Gothenburg at the First State Bank.
I see, and this area is in the country, obviously,
The area where the event will be held?
yes.
Yes, and the canyons between Maxwell and Curtis.
And,
There was formerly a ranch house there, there isn't currently, but there's an expanse of land which a tent will be erected upon.
There'll be a fairly large tent, 68 by 138, is that
It is
correct?
definitely a large tent, yes.
And that will be secured such that you can control who comes in and who does.
Absolutely so, yeah. There would be plenty of staff on hand to secure the area.
Rolly, have you talked about this?
I haven't talked with him personally. They had an event last year in that location, and we didn't have any problems at all.
Okay.
Very well run event.
You were there, weren't you?
I was. Very impressed
That
with how
was
the
the only
staff
problem
handled
we
everything.
had. I apologize, that was the only problem.
So be sure and keep an eye on him for me, please.
Yes, absolutely. He'll be my first order of business.
Okay. Sounds great. Okay, so first off is the wedding scheduled for May 20th, 2023. That is the special designated permit we will take care of first. Any other questions for Mr. Hammond on these events?
Ready for motion?
Yes, Sam.
Chairman, I've moved to approve the application for North 40 Chop House for an event held on South Effenbeck Road, Curtis, Nebraska, on May 20th, 2023.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions for Mr. Hammond? Do you have the original permits there? Yeah, Joe does. And we do have,
Yeah, I'm sorry, and authorize your signature. I didn't put that in the motion.
we have $40 due on both of these, for both of these, correct?
Yes, that's my understanding.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Joseph.
Sure. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Weems.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we authorize you to sign the special designated liquor permit submitted by North 40 Chop House for an event, a retirement party out at Effenbeck Road in Curtis, Nebraska, near Curtis, Nebraska, excuse me, on June 30th.
Second.
Motion and second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Bruns.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye.
He'll email these to you, make the copies, so you can look at the application.
Excellent.
And
And
we'll call it.
do I need to go and pay the fees now?
You just do what you want to.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
everyone.
sir.
Thanks, Mark.
Pleasure.
Okay, it is 9:45. Our next order of business is to discuss and consider the Building and Grounds Department participating in the Downtown Association Cleanup Day. And, sir, would you state your name?
Booker Boyer, Lincoln County Building and Grounds.
Excellent hairstyle this morning, sir.
I was gonna say, that is Booker, I didn't recognize him without a hat. You look good,
He did
Booker,
shave.
you got a-
And you
shaved.
shave.
Mr. Cleaning it.
Tristan's people in the back.
Okay, sir, what can you tell me about this event?
Well, we were talking about doing the downtown cleanup with the rest of the businesses downtown. We was hopefully gonna, me and one other employee and maybe a couple inmates, if that's okay with Jerome and Raleigh, walk around, pick up trash for downtown cleanup.
When does that take place?
You had to ask.
You had to ask.
Coming up here in
Yeah.
near future?
Yes.
Got some tumbleweeds out in the fence row out my way, if you guys run out of stuff to pick up.
Try to find some more inmate workers. I'd like to take them home too.
Okay. Okay, would this require a motion, Tyler? To approve the
Yeah,
act?
sort of atypical work for the building and grounds, so a little public acknowledgement of that from the board, probably not a bad idea.
It's
That's
on
true.
Tuesday, May 9th.
May 9th.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion, if it's in order,
Yes,
that we authorize Building and Grounds Department to proceed with assisting in the downtown cleanup on May 9th of this year.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Just to be noted that our building and grounds director will coordinate who participates, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Brooker.
Thank you, guys.
Sounds good. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Booker.
Oh. No other discussion. Let's have a roll call, please.
Hughley.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
All right. Almost forgot.
That's okay, just a technicality, they forget everything sometimes too.
Raleigh. Aye.
It is 9:50. Our next agenda item is to discuss and consider special designated liquor permit by Big Red Liquor for a fundraiser at the Lincoln County Fairgrounds on April 28, 2023. And would you happen to be here in regards to Big Red Liquor?
I am.
Would you state your name and please sign in for us, please?
Dina Richardson.
Dina?
Dina.
Dina Richardson. Thank you for joining us. Tell us about your event.
It is at the fairgrounds. It's a fundraiser entertainment for the Cook County Fair Board.
And that will be held at their facility, correct?
Correct.
And you folks have a catering license?
We don't have a catering license, that's why I guess I have to come.
Okay.
This business, they do not, the others you do, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Raleigh, have you,
They do it all the time, we would check.
and you will have that area secured with plenty of staff for?
Staff, and we have wristbands. and-
Wristband?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Dina, it's confined to one building.
I'm sorry?
It is confined to a
Yes,
building.
yes, it's
The ag
inside.
building.
The ag building
Yes.
specifically.
Ready?
Colleagues?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve and authorize you to sign special designated liquor permit by Big Red Liquor for a fundraiser at the Lincoln County Fairgrounds on April 28th, 2023.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion, questions for Ms. Richards?
I just I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Y'all just have to fill it in, keep it, I'll have it. Reaching, sorry.
I could get up.
Well, I could have too.
And that's all I needed?
Yes, you'll have him sign it. Oh. And they'll have to take it down in my office, and Melissa can give us an email. too, so
Okay.
she can get it in
Awesome.
today.
And she'll have her people get hold of your people and
Our people will talk.
Okay, I do have the sign permit and the fee. We have a motion and a second, correct? Roll call, please.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
All right.
Yeah, and they usually could.
Okay, do you have need for a closed session, Tyler?
No.
Okay. Next item of business is to hear concerns from elected officials, department heads, or their representative. Okay, we do have some guests in the room today. I would ask, do we have a representative from that group?
Yes.
Would that be you, sir?
Yes.
Would you please come forward, state your name and sign in?
My name is Jeff Orr, East Division Board Member of the Platte Valley Irrigation District, as well as President of the organization.
Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Again. I do not have an agenda item for you, sir, but would you tell us what is on your mind this morning?
Yes, I will. I guess the County Roads Department decided to demolish an existing concrete bridge on O'Fallon's Road. But just right on our canal, our main canal, just on the east overpass slope of the east of the ethanol plant on Highway 30 and north. Of course, the concrete bridge has been demolished and they're putting a 4 culvert set in there. And our canal operations employee, our head canal operations, has been kind of on the ground, and he's been with us 1 year, a full year, irrigation year, and numerous years with another irrigation company. And he's expressed concerns to me initially of the set being a little bit larger than our canal width, as well as not being aligned with the normal water flow. So our concern, of course, is that we would like to have them straightened from their, and then they have not been backfilled, but at this point, and this only happened late in the week here, last week, when I don't know the date when they were actually set, but he finally got his board member to go out and observe. So we've had a bunch of of our own taxpayers observe and trying to back me up on this a little bit, that we simply have a concern that it's changing the direction of water on an earthen canal, which tend to cause erosion problems later on. So I expressed some concerns at the county road superintendent, and he obviously, and probably a lot of you understand what has all taken place, or there's records with some of the people here, but nevertheless, he contacted the county attorney's office, and I guess Tyler, I think, came out and observed and gave me a number of the engineering concern on the blueprints. We do have a set, and we've been in communication of our concerns with him, and he said there might be a little wiggle room to move this and perhaps pull one culvert. We essentially are extremely wanting the things to be aligned with the water for erosion purposes. But of course, I guess there was conjecture on the engineer's part, which just, that maybe they were improperly fabricated, or who knows. I know just from my eyeball, and I'm not an engineer, I'm a farmer. The head plates, or whatever you call it, head walls on either side, upstream and downstream, they do appear to line up very closely with the road right-of-way, or the road ditch, as I say. The tubes are skewed significantly counterclockwise of what would appear when you look down the canal. And so that was our concern, and I'm just asking the commissioners to put a hold on the backfilling until, and the communication with the engineer last week told me that he would put more people on the ground either today or tomorrow to verify engineering or the possibility of misconstructed culvert head wall angles. That's the last that I knew from him. Oh, well, and I'll interject here. He asked me yet last week to go out and find the center of the canal to the best of my ability and stake it and mark it and find a sight line from the center line of the two sets on the head wall bolt line, and make marks on the downstream head wall that would align with that sight line. And to the best of my ability, in 6 hours of effort, I did that, and I painted fluorescent marks on both sides of the downstream head wall so that anyone that cares to go up and look can see the misalignment. It happens to measure, and I left a message with him last week, that it's 29 inches. And what that does in degrees, I don't know. I'm not much of a mathematician.
Jeff, 29 inches regarding what
The 29 inches would be on the downstream head walls of the culvert set.
out of skew from center line, is that what you're saying?
Exactly, when sited with the canal center line.
Thank you.
And so then I did that, and I guess our canal maintenance supervisor here has some photographs if the board would like to pass them around. An aerial photograph, I think, kind of shows a little bit of it. It's a lot easier to see on the ground peering through the culverts from the inlet side, upstream side.
Are they,
The top of this page would be south.
Pardon?
The top of this page would be south.
The excavator's on the south side of that irrigation canal. Big excavator.
excavators on the
So
south
this
side,
way?
so it goes
Okay.
like this. Well,
Water flows this way.
yeah, but look at this.
Yeah.
Are these, see this angle? Of course, that does match that angle. It's not, it almost looks like it needs to be turned over, so that skews down on the hill, see what I mean?
I think they explored that.
But don't you think that's, I mean, looking at it, does it not look that way?
I think it was determined that that would not change anything.
We have to.
Look at it from the bigger picture.
Yeah, but
Oh.
I'm curious about that.
Sir, you'd mentioned that there was conversation with engineer, the engineers that designed this project, is that correct?
Yes, I believe it's Manelli and Wagner Associates. Yes. And, the county road superintendent kind of got that ball rolling, and I appreciate that. And then, Mr. Volkmer, came on site and observed. And
Okay,
then almost immediately gave me a contact number to the engineer, because it does seem a little bit skewed, I think.
and did you say that they were coming out to evaluate this set?
I have a communication, after I talked to him that day, then the next day or later in the day, I got a communication from the engineer, and we discussed, our concerns, and then that's when he told me to take the measure, shoot the line, and he said he would have people come verify dimensions and angles on that communication with me Monday or Tuesday at the latest.
Today or tomorrow?
Right.
Okay,
And so we're just simply asking for time before we backfill this thing to give everybody a chance to see what we have concerns about.
okay. Thank you for your information. And you are,
Jason Schultz, Lincoln County Highway Superintendent.
can you add a little information to this, sir?
Yeah, so, after they brought their concerns, Jeff and his team, we did get a hold of the engineer. They are looking at it to see what can be done, to address their concerns. So we're just waiting to hear back. We're not planning on doing anything else until we hear back and we come to an agreement and a solution on what we can do with it. So that's where we're at.
So, explain to me, I see the pictures that were taken, Tyler took. So the skew is in the fact that each individual tube is tied together, and so they're not all plumb, so to speak?
Yeah, it's all prefabricated based on the design from the engineer. They're all fabricated on a 10-degree skew currently. And it looks like the ditch is not, if you go center line of ditch, like you said, downstream and upstream quite a ways, the ditch is not a 10-degree skew to the road.
So they deliberately created a skew that doesn't need to be there, is that what's going on?
No, it actually needs to be a more severe skew.
It needs to be graded.
Yeah.
Actually, almost a reverse skew the other way.
Well, no, it needs to be the same direction, it just needs to be more. It's probably more of a, I don't know, maybe a 16 or 18 degree skew possibly through there, and not the 10, so.
So it's my understanding as soon as Platte Valley Irrigation contacted your office, you did halt all work out on the.
Yeah, we're not planning on doing any backfill or
So we're not doing
anything.
anything
Nope.
until we get updated plans from
Yep.
the engineering firm.
Correct.
Okay,
So Jason, you and Jeff and Tyler have conversed about the solutions or possible solutions on this?
Some of the solutions have been talked to, the engineer about, so we're just waiting to hear back from them of
Okay.
what solutions they can come up with to, I guess, fix the issues, so.
Ultimately, we need to lean on the state-funded engineer because it's a state-funded project. So we want to make sure that all parties are in agreement on what needs to happen. That way we don't risk losing the state funding for the overall project. So,
Correct.
and you expect to have the engineers here this week?
I believe they said they would be here today at the latest to
Okay.
look at on-site, and then they were supposed to get back to everybody tomorrow to see what they've come up with and if they have any solutions to the issues, so.
And Jeff, you've had direct contact with the engineering firm, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And you've expressed the concerns that you and your board have, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
Jeff you were talking to, or who?
Jeff Wagner.
to Jeff Wagner with Manelli and Wagner Associates, yes.
Okay. So when you get communication back from the engineers, what is our next step, Tyler?
Could I ask,
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
could I ask that our road, first of all, our road committee, keep us informed, and if there's something that we have to do in between times, I don't think there would be anything the full board would have to do, but if there is, we could certainly call a special meeting and do it. Otherwise, hopefully the committee could get this thing worked out, whatever it needs to be. If it's something Tyler can advise, if we need a special meeting or something, then we could do that.
No, we just need Manelli Wagner to come out, shoot their new data points, determine that they can make do with 3 tubes instead of 4, so it actually fits within the canal, and then re-engineer it so that it has the appropriate skew, and then provide us a set of plans that show that,
Right.
with Jeff Wagner's signature on them.
Right.
Then the roads department can go ahead and build it per plan, put a road back over it and be done.
Does that?
And get it all done before irrigation season. Yeah. Otherwise, it will be when the water would be shut off, and
Yeah.
historically, the 1st of October then would be the next window. And that would be a concern for everybody.
How much water does that carry when you're full?
We're setting our limit for statement of 260 cubic feet per second.
Now I know what 260 CFS looks like in a river channel. In that little ditch, what does 260 look like? Is that a 3 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot of water?
I would, if it's permissible, I would let our canal maintenance and operator tell you that, because I don't know. Adam Huggins?
It's about 3 foot.
Okay, thank you.
State your name, please.
Adam Huggins.
Adam Huggins, and your comment was that's about 3 foot of
Yeah,
water?
about 3
Is
foot
that
of water,
correct?
yes.
Okay.
And if I might make one more statement, if a person looks through the very north culvert, it's actually pretty much inset completely on our old canal wall. And you're staring at a takeout structure for one of our producers and taxpayers. Literally within a few feet in front of it, and almost completely, that is all you see from the upstream side when you look to that.
That's
See
very
that
clear
on
in the
picture?
image.
Yeah, okay.
So that creates an issue as far as withdrawing water from the canal, is that correct?
Well, it creates an issue for an erosion and possible loss of that operation of that takeout for that producer.
Okay.
And moving of it downstream, so it wouldn't be impacted or such. You know, there's several different ways you can look at that. And of course, my other concern is just simply that, you know, to the farm board, it just seems like pick it up, center it as best we're able and set it in, but then that changes the header wall. So as I said, my concern was that it's been improperly engineered angle-wise, so that the county doesn't get reduced by their statutory right-of-way. And we don't get reduced by the dangers of wall impact by the not being on center line.
Yeah.
And all all the time it's gonna take to fix, that's. We just wanted to make it clear that we want them parallel, and that's our only complaint. We think that we'd like to drop one culvert if that would be helpful, and that we think that 4 is probably not necessary, but probably could tolerate 4 if we had to.
Yeah.
But the misalignment is something we feel we cannot tolerate.
When I got there, I actually walked through the tubes, and the fact that that north one ran right into the wall of the canal was my first clue that something was not quite right. When I spoke to Jeff Wagner, he had indicated that this was engineered off of the survey data that they had, and that the survey data was taken from at a point upstream to the west where the canal is notably wider, and they're actually going to narrow it back to where it's supposed to be. And so it was, in my unprofessional, non-engineering opinion, it was engineered for a larger canal than we have at that point.
Okay, so it looks as though we are in the process of correcting this issue when the engineers come, and not being a hydrologist or an engineer either, I would have to rely on their expertise.
But we do hear your concerns, and we appreciate everybody coming.
Thank you.
we understand the gravity of the situation, and we're looking to make sure that we get this done
Thanks for
correctly,
speaking
so,
up.
yes.
Yeah, we need to have this corrected for both parties and everyone, yes. Okay, you have someone else who wants to,
May I add anything to this?
please come up and state your name, please. State your name and sign in for us, please.
My name is Tracy Baden. I am the landowner to the north of that, and I took those pictures. As you'll see, there's a culvert that
This
I
is yours,
irrigate from
Tracy,
there,
right here.
And I'm gonna incur
This one.
probably
that is
$2,000
yours.
to move that thing out of your guys' way now. My other concern is that if we keep that thing to narrow, or we keep that, bridge, the less erosion we're gonna have. If we create an extra 10 foot on each side, we're just gonna erode it out faster. And as the water shoots through there, it's gonna eddy, and we're gonna start losing more ditch bank. I guess my biggest concern was, the requirement that we needed of the volume of water coming through should determine probably the size of your bridge, right? And your engineers could figure out that we can give them the requirement of what we can push through that ditch before it goes over the banks, and then what your 4 tubes can handle. I mean, if I was to guess, your 4 tubes could handle about 1,000, and we really only need about, like, max that ditch is probably ever put out is about 310 before we go over the banks. I mean, but I'm not an engineer, I'm just concerned that, I'm gonna move that lift pump, and it'll cost me a few $1,000s to get wire and move downstream to the middle of my field, and
Tracy, if they'd take that one tube out, you wouldn't have to move your pump station, would you?
that's true, but I ain't got time to wait. I'm probably gonna go do it today to get started, because when the water comes, I need to have that structure done and built, right, or I don't get it irrigated.
And when do you expect water to come?
Irrigation season would be late June, but they've gotta flush this ditch as well to make sure they can flow adequate amounts of water to everyone on the canal.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for your information, sir.
Hopefully the engineers on site.
Do we have anyone else that wishes to
Make a
speak?
determination if that fourth one is even necessary.
Jeff was pretty sure they could do without it.
So hopefully that
Please
works.
state your name and sign in for us, please.
I'm Peggy Orr. I'm Mrs. Jeff Orr. I asked him to bring this item up. It's an unfortunate situation that the Platte Valley Irrigation District was not contacted as far as,
Please sign in for us. please.
Generally, the district is contacted whenever the roads builds a bridge over the canal. And so, in this case, it was overlooked. And I'm sure that is it Jason? Jason. I'm sure Jason is painfully aware of that, but in the change of personnel in the roads department, somehow that was overlooked, and this could have all been,
Yeah, this
avoided.
I don't think it would have been avoided, excuse me, because,
Because they're allowed to look into, we're trying to.
oh, no, I'm not disagreeing with that, Peggy, I'm not sure, even if we'd said we're gonna put the culverts
Right,
in now.
maybe it was a mistake.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably
but-
should have contacted
But,
you, yeah.
both parties generally are
yeah.
involved in the conversation.
Yep.
I'm just saying
Sure.
that it was overlooked in this case. And I know the initial proceedings of this bridge replacement were, maybe a year or more ago. But I just wanted to bring that point up.
Thank you.
Thank you for your information. Anyone else have any points that we need to consider?
Sounds like it's been worked on.
Appreciate you folks bringing this to our attention. Certainly would have been
Jeff, do you need this back?
unfortunate to have that not installed to the best situation that it could. And Jason, thank you so much for your work contacting the engineers. Tyler, you as well. That has been very helpful in getting folks here to look at that. And Jason, as soon as you hear from them, would you give me a call? Commissioner Wooler and I could meet with you and go over a remedy. Who would be our, Jeff, you would be our contact with the board?
Yes.
Okay,
I have Jeff's number.
would you please give me your number?
My number is 308-520-1824.
1824.
Correct.
Got it, sir, thank you.
You bet.
Hopefully, we'll be in touch
Yes.
in the next 24 hours or so, or less. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We will keep the meeting open while we finish signing claims.
Well, our house is, of course, a long way west. East of Broken Road, there's a restaurant. You can see the barricades from the highway. Well, it's been some time. There was problem with contractors and law, so.
Becky, you had mentioned in the past about reopening the budget.
So in.
What is the process for that and how do we go about it and when?
So I did contact Susan Lee and kind of tell her you're gonna definitely have to do at least the one.
Storefront or brick and mortar.
So I need to get into May and see where we're gonna be short.
I should have said
Retirement.
something, but it's just like, pick your battles. They were notified. That's
Oh, I know
your-
they were, I think we see that.
Okay.
A separate.
Keep me informed, let me know.
From this.
Yeah.
We'll know a little bit more here after the end of April.
So Becky, on that, looking through the budget stuff this weekend.
Kristen, do you need me tomorrow morning or
Our
not?
kids
So,
went to school,
Ours are,
but
you know,
they
they,
had to put a twist on things that.
absolutely.
If you're gonna be in town, stop by or if you just wanna call that relief fund over.
I have someone that's getting some,
Veterans Assistance Program.
no, just kidding. He did such a darn good job.
I know, we should make it 3 weeks in a row.
We should.
You've been rolling that
Get back
forward,
with me as soon as you can.
I'll let you guys know as soon as I.
Thank
hear
you.
something back.
And nothing ever comes out of that.
I believe Jason.
No, there should be. You still gotta open the budget, can we move it out of there? I don't know, I'd have to actually, you know, that fund is kind of one of those.
George, mind your
Like I
way.
said, nothing's ever been done with it, so I need to see legally what we can do, but that might be a possibility.
You have time for a
yes.
post-interview though, Commissioner Woodruff?
Dang straight, yeah.
I don't know what the stipulations are on that really social security relief.
Well, I spent a lot more time than normal looking at this issue.
You're right, all of these. That you just ended. And that's, he was putting like 5,000 a year in there, so that's when I started taking that out of his budget. But then in his budget, moving it over there.
When we spend,
No, that's counted.
Yeah, I would, yeah, I would,
It wasn't for lack of trying, though.
Okay. And this one, Jerry, if you don't mind sticking in the pocket.
Yeah, 45, 49, 40.
Yeah.
So here this number is, here this is.
Yeah, we did.
It just keeps rolling.
Is there, am I missing
I don't
something?
know, it's different, it's called.
Says 480,
technically it's
but
called
when you,
Soldiers and Sailors Relief Fund.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So I don't know if there's
That's posting maintenance. Let me see that. But it says 480 office supplies.
But that would easily,
Yes.
half that
June
probably.
23.
Well, maybe.
Yes.
So there's the 480, but I don't see the,
Just trying to figure out a way to.
If we
She's
can
trying
move
to take it
it,
out of two different checks.
I just,
Pay this one first.
here's another one, but this looks like it's for the web maintenance that
Is this
we,
for Bonnie
that's actually
again?
it.
this one is not, this one's for the commissioners. Maybe there's another one here.
This isn't news to the county, the county's already kind of on
Website
top of
for
this.
the funds. Hey Becky, on this one, the total bill is this, but this is only for the 480. Is this gonna come through on a different bill? I thought maybe there'd be another one for the other amount, but I have a couple, but none of them for that
Oh, cause the
amount.
surveyor's paying, paying.
Oh, her office is
Yes,
paying the
this Bonnie's
balance.
paying the
Okay.
480, because this is for the surveyor that Dave.
It just threw me that the bottom numbers didn't match. So Bonnie must be paying for this one. The
Oh, that's
600.
right, but I didn't even read surveyor county site, sorry. I didn't read the rest
Oh,
of it.
okay.
Why don't we turn that around? Why don't we put her down to 6?
Yeah.
Becky, the answer is no.
I thought once that money was in that relief fund, it probably needed to stay. And Paul actually has a checking account that he like writes checks to the veterans and then gets reimbursed through that. They actually have a separate checking account, or he did at one time. So if they needed relief over the weekend or something, he could write it.
Halting all construction and getting inspections and engineering firm so that we can get some remedy to this potential.
It might have some remedy, like you said, as soon as the early portion of this work is due.
Yes, we're hoping that they're on site today and we can get the correction that needed done that way.
Anything else you want to add, Commissioner Woodrow?
No, like you said, it started out to be a fairly routine agenda, but we had some pretty significant issues to work through.
Judy did her part to make sure you guys weren't going to be overwhelmed with
She owed me one.
You guys are even now?
I never thought about that.
You'll have to let her know. Thanks, Jerry. That's okay. Yeah, if you don't mind. That'll work.
The sign on the back, this is the water even saying, don't do anything. Hopefully it won't be a lot of it, they're just saying too.
You are the lottery word.
No, I'm the lottery worker, yeah.
Mr. Orkin, Jerry, good to see you too. Have a good rest of your day.
So Tristan, I'm gonna guess that was a no from Jason's part.
Oh, Jason?
That was a no.
I think he shot us down. But we'll get him again.
Yeah, darn straight.
That this is the, she doesn't have any loss statistics, so that's why she used that number, I'm sure she has. Yeah. Some of them don't have.
I stopped at his house after I went out and looked at the tubes. I stopped at his house and we had a good conversation.
Yeah, well, she probably just has it you know what I'm saying? She probably doesn't have anywhere else to take it out, so.
Thanks, guys.
You bet. Thank you, sir.
We'll do it again next week.
Okay, we'll be here. Same times.
I think that would be a quarter of it. Might say that.
Tammy, can you refresh my memory? How often do we pay that lease on the computer machine? Is that just once a year or quarterly?
I don't just, but I think it's a quarterly bill for APUS, for 862, confused, I forget if it is quarterly, it's a $35,448 expense. Is that ringing a bell? What is it?
Wildlife management.
Yeah, the contracts, oh, I have that pretty well, right? It's on my desk.
Okay.
Yes, your math is not wrong.
So that's what's done. You've got an idea of $4,000.
It's a quarterly.
It's 88.94 times 4 is 35 and change.
Yes, thank you.
Okay,
If
so
it was that quarterly, I don't see.
And when is that contract ending?
June.
And, will one of you guys be able to go to the league board meeting maybe next month? Or-
Next month, yeah.
Because his board members have quite a few questions that I felt like I hadn't been involved enough to. Yeah, Jody is taking care of publishing that notice, and I asked her to. Oh, I am. Oh, you're taking care, you might wanna communicate with Jody, because I think she, I think Jody thought she was doing it, so you might just communicate with her. That was fine. Okay, good.
Yeah, because we, essentially structured after the Knox Street statute, so. Both Todd and Barry are on board working together, so he understands that Todd technically is the lead. But we're juggling two things here. We still have a USDA contract,
Right.
Barry works, so that's where Barry's, thank you.
Yeah, I had that on my desk.
So that's what Barry continues to function, so we're not worrying about, we're not splitting hairs about who you call and all that business.
So, Justin Geisler was on the lead board, and he has questions because, Barry stores USDA wildlife equipment in locker out at the airport. And he wondered if that would stay there,
Depends on whose inventory it is.
or I think it's USDA.
Well, then we won't get it. It's not gonna be ours.
I don't think it's berries, because Justin said they were using that before berry came in.
As we see it,
But I couldn't answer the question.
if the full board decides to, I mean, the full board could just office until we do for a year. We still could just be a.
Just something I need to make some notes for.
All it would be a control arm
Things I'd
of,
like
not
to see
just
get done.
weed technically. You see what I mean? Still Todd still be the lead. But on the statute, like the wrong, of course, but.
Without Barry using the equipment in the storage at the airport, does he have everything he needs to do that work for us?
He has some, but he's not gonna have it all. One obvious thing would be a vehicle. And I don't know if he's got access to ATV, but we do at the $2.
And it doesn't really look like that the two seasons line up like one.
I think one rolls and the other
Yeah.
is at peak.
That's kind of what my impression
That's
was, so
Jerry,
that might
that's
be.
why Jerry and I concluded it wasn't gonna be a huge challenge other than maybe a pickup. We were gonna steal
Todd
from the road
seems
department.
very comfortable. Oh, look, you're gonna steal from the road department.
We're gonna go
How
there
about
some.
the sheriff's office? I think they have a fleet.
And then there's the matter of, if this is a big leak, because we don't, Jerry and I are just, wading through the
Trailblazing.
weeds here.
Trailblazing.
Because we already have a program in place.
Yeah.
And so to the question of, okay, so if you're in road control, pest control, that sometimes includes the fork end of the cranium of his gun. So Tyler is aware that we need to address the rules and regs for firearms to this person.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Chester County, 30 years ago, I walked in his office and he's got a 45 thing on the wall, and I said, how do you think you get by with that? Or supervisor gave me information. I shoot an occasional prairie dog that I don't poison,
Well,
or skunk.
we all know where there are prairie
Your
dogs, there
emphasis
will
was on
also
prairie
be
dogs.
rattlesnakes.
Rattlesnakes, exactly.
Yes.
Dangerous work at certain times of the year. On a sunny March day when it's unseasonably 80 degrees. Things of that nature, but, so that's another loose end, but ultimately, I worked up some numbers we can informally share with Caroline, Cameron, Tyler.
Yeah, sure. I didn't work on, I just photocopy. I'll try out the contract, so.
And their contract is up at the end of June?
Yeah, that part of it is.
This shows you what we're spending with USDA today, current agreement. That's essentially the budget.
Does that count the extra amount that we decided?
Well, that's our money.
Yeah.
That's how they appropriated our money.
Because we increased that by 10,000 last year, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then that's the other thing that's been in the discussion of areas, is like, what about my Dawson County people?
I wondered the same thing.
And my response was, I don't know what Jerry's picture is on this, my response was, first we get our own program up and running, and then if we can mutually benefit from their local Dawson, certainly we should entertain it.
And they.
But first and foremost, we need to make sure we're doing what we need to do to structure for Lincoln County. Well, the interlocal with Dawson or any other county would be secondary to that, so right.
Could be done on a few of us.
To be, and right, and that's the other thing that Tyler is looking at for us, was fee structures for recovery. Because I haven't done the math on Tyler's budget, but I can tell you 30 years ago, when we touched it, and 38, 40% of our operating budget was a year ago. Fees were, correct.
I think COGS would be very similar to that, if maybe a little.
The logical extension of that would be.
Just in case that comes up, I have a feeling it may.
is then we have a fee structure that says, okay, Mr. Landowner, this is what we charge, you know, this is the formula. So it's structured, so we're not being arbitrary, capricious with anybody, it's like, I don't like that, guy, someone charge
They'd
me
be the
twice.
same
It's all
across the
structured.
board.
You can lay down a piece of paper and say, okay, it's so much an hour, so much per treatment, so much per dog, package dog, now, however you want to structure it, so that we can recover. And of course, we have, I don't know how we, I guess we have to take Barry's activity and extrapolate those numbers to get any idea what a first year recovery would be, which might be minimal, I don't
Yeah.
know. But we have to work that into the product. We wouldn't want to get too carried away with that. We don't want a number that we can't reach.
Todd did a pretty good job of answering any questions that his board had.
Y'all get serious.
And he seemed more comfortable after you guys' last meeting with, you know, the expectation,
Right.
so.
Yeah.
And it also helped give more work so we could potentially keep this part-time
Well,
guy on.
and so here's the other, maybe a key point. We talked to Gary about transition, and the idea that we have full transparency about what's going on. Moving forward, and somebody retires, otherwise decided I'm busy, can't handle that much workload, that we've got people in the weed district office that know what's going on, so they can step in. And they both said, no problem, we can communicate, we can work together. So Gary's idea was, or our idea to Barry was, and he concurred was, yeah, I get that. At this point in my career, in my life, I may do this for another reason, or I may find out I can't. So he said, makes total sense what you guys are doing, to coordinate with the weed district office, so they know what's going on.
Yep.
And so as we move forward, we talked to Todd about the possibility of getting endorsement on this EPA fund. Not to sit down with the rest of it, but simply to be prepared for the next step. And not have this big two-edged service, because we had community applications and based off of
Joe, you have a question?
Last week, decided.
Agreement.
Right, so bottom line, are we really out there, deputy on everything?
Well,
It's,
another step.
That's not pretty good.
my signature needs to go on there, and then it's going back to the honest oil engineer. Jason indicated to me is just a matter of procedure for them to review it and stamp it, and then it comes back to him, they give us the permit, and then he can start this process, it's the way I understand it.
But I don't know if it makes sense if we.
U.S. Army Corps of Engineers still has to.
That came before, so
That's what it's.
I would assume they'll sign their own copy.
It's so much
But, Jason is pretty, optimistic about getting.
I tried to do it in year one.
Hope it's not false.
Tyler, Amber Kuski works with the Keith County Planning and Zoning, and she shared with me their new structure for their, fees. I'm gonna send that to you.
Okay.
fees.
They were a little surprised that ours were only $25 for the permits.
You got the highway.
No, driveway permits, yes. And,
Can you forward it to either Joe or myself since we
I-
are?
yes, I've got it to Joe already, and I was gonna include Tyler.
Who were they having, all of them that I talked to were either $30 or $25 or $1,250. That was it.
For Keith County.
I think the one is keep on right, so.
Yeah, no, this is Keith County.
Oh.
West Central does their planning and zoning for them. So she had all their information.
Stay with USDA, we're very much there.
Well, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do, sell it, but I think that's the, is that right, Joe?
Yes, sir.
I said, I don't think I'm the only one that didn't think we ever got our money's worth out of USDA.
Considering our contribution to that contract and how much work was done in Dawson County as compared to Keith County, I felt the same way.
In the early years, I mean, it all depended on the individual. We had some really good individuals with theater stuff, but, did we get our money's worth? We had good people, I can tell you that.
The last young fellow probably didn't. That's my guess.
Yeah. So,
Well, I think Barry's been a great addition to that. I've had nothing but positive remarks made.
You can count on the 72-year-old ball guy every day. That's what I'm here to tell you.
So there's hope for Dick when he hits 72, huh?
That's the last of the claims?
That is.
Anything else to come before the board?
Oh, mercifully, please no.
Ricky? Anything on the budget thing?
Nothing yet?
Not until we get to May. See where we're at.
Before we get to May?
Well,
We're
So the
starting.
generator, I know what was gonna be on these.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that.
I was sick on Friday. I never heard from him, so at least you sent me an email, I was sick on Friday.
No, I didn't see you.
No, but I stopped in your office and I thought we had a conversation to put it on the agenda for today.
But I thought we said 10.
Oh.
That's okay.
I misunderstood.
No,
Okay.
that's fine, we can do
No,
it next.
It's just a heads up that because the time the switch gear arrival is like ETA is like August, so there's gonna be some downtime. What we're gonna have, we're gonna have to determine whether we're willing to shut the courthouse down for a day, or a day, part of the day, or no, you know. So the proposal essentially was, assuming because of the timeline of all the equipment showing up, the fact that the switch gear have to move the transformer proximity that you can't go in there and put a switch gear in and then move it.
And then what?
I tried to make that argument, it's like, why should we have to set the power company? The answer is because the gen set and the switch gear have to essentially be between the city's transformer and our service in the building. So what the proposal is from Neil at the city, IT, building and grounds, Mercy
Paul.
Manager,
Oh,
all the electric is, what if we would close the Friday of Labor Day weekend, to allow them to have weekend days? And then it became, what about if we close early on Thursday, that we might be able to, everything in place, be done by Friday night or Saturday afternoon, and re-energize. IT's got their plan for backup on the servers, the internet stuff, and power to the jail is segregated, phones to the jail is segregated, so that's not an issue. But through the entire process, even the gen sets put in place inside, or servicing inside the IT room, won't power the phones in this building. They'll be down. If we would happen to, if the board would say, okay, well, we'll close Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we'll have power.
that's on a 4-day weekend where Mondays we're already closed out.
So they asked us to bring that to the full board, so everybody had time to think about it, because we've got some time to think about it. But they picked Labor Day because of the fact that all their equipment's not showing up. It's dragging out until August. So it would still be a what-if scenario until we get probably till the 1st of August and knowing, okay, switchgear's gonna be here. So we can move forward with our closure on September 2nd.
How much notice does the courts need for, how far out do they schedule
They're scheduled about that far.
already?
Well, some parts of it are.
So that was, that's our next question.
It's not so much whether or not they have anything scheduled, it's whether or not they have adequate time to get it continued. So, you want to give them ideally 60 days, but
So if the switch isn't due to arrive until, I think he said July 26th, was this, the new scheduled date, it's already missed the first deadline.
I just said August.
Yeah. So I don't know if that would be enough time for,
When is Labor Day?
September
Third,
2nd or
Fourth.
4th.
And is there anything that they can do pre-switchgear, receiving your switchgear, that any preparatory work inside of it?
No, question, that was asked, and the question was no, or answer was no. Again, because my first thing was, let's just put the genset platform and the switchgear in, and then we'll loop into the vent work. Well, they don't seem to think they can do that, including halls
Yeah, Halls and.
in the city, because they're gonna have to go across the street and kill the power to that transformer.
Okay.
But it'll be in the alley, so it won't impact the jail, just this building. Yeah, I asked that question, because my deal was, well, there's a no-brainer, let's just put it all
That's what I
together.
thought. Yeah, let's put it
And
in.
then link it in.
And just have
Make,
it
make
connect.
two little changes so we don't have to take the other. Yeah, okay. That'll work,
Both,
that'll work.
And it
both
doesn't-
IT and the electricians said that that wasn't gonna work for a variety
I know,
of
but-
reasons.
He went exactly where I was going for days. Why can't we just construct this and link it, loop it in? So anyway, something to think about, Tyler, something to be aware of.
ultimately, the biggest issue with people sitting across the street in jail is in theory they have a constitutional right to hearing on bond.
Okay.
That's, when things close, that's what is the hardest thing to accommodate.
Well, if we really pushed back and said, no, we're gonna close until, what time's court close on Friday? Or is there a time?
They could probably get everybody to run through in the morning.
So if we said,
Adequate notice.
if we said, okay, the board doesn't have an appetite for closing for the entire day, we'll give you from 1 o'clock till Tuesday morning. Like, the truth is, it's less convenient for all the people involved, because it is a holiday week, but
One of
It's also-
Kylie's concerns about that was if
couldn't
they,
access parts if
Parts.
they run into the problem, but
so it's a holiday weekend, a lot of places,
But
maybe
what
early
parts?
Friday.
But
Not
if you've got all these people that have done this before, and I've worked with the city on many transformer installs, I know they know what they're doing. So what possibly could you go down here to Napa Electric and buy, that you can't give up, I mean, that you wouldn't have. And Napa Electric's involved in the other gen set for the IT room. So they're supposed to be also accessible over this process. So there's one supply, they've got their own inventory a little bit. I'm guessing that Electric Fix has got access, I'm guessing that Crescent Electric, who supplies a lot of wholesale, can be contacted. And you can have somebody on call there, there's like, they're wearing masks. I personally think there's probably some ways preemptively to offset that problem. But I get the resistance from the work over the weekend, but
No, I
We
don't
told-
think he had any resistance to it
Well-
over the weekend, his was just access to.
well, but again, I smooth that a little bit, because you've got all the major players involved, including contractors, and you've got supply houses. Keep those contractors nice on materials, parts. I find it hard to believe you can't pre-plan.
I think that's the reason he was asking for potentially closing down Thursday at 3.
Yeah, I
To
understand.
give them
I
a
get that,
cushion.
I get that, but we didn't promise them that.
No,
We said, we're gonna bring it to the board, and the board can think about it, and tell us what they want.
No, I didn't say we promised him anything.
So maybe we go back to them and say, well, we're about noon on Friday. You can make a plan for that. But the transformer is sitting there, has too much elevation, so that's also gonna be addressed.
Say it again?
Neil, the city said, transformer platform needs to be, lowered, and they do that.
Really?
It's too high, I suppose, for safety. Yeah, those are just a hollow fiberglass cap. Your leaks come in below and go up, and it's just a hollow fiberglass cap that they set down.
Now, this is gonna be behind your fence, right, or not?
A little bit behind screen. But, not that that's a big issue.
But I'm glad you mentioned, so we can take care of now.
Yeah. So it's gonna be done in the processing. But yeah, I'm with you, Joe. I said, well, why don't we just set the platform for the generator, put the switchgear on the side of the building, or on a standalone 2 posts, and then link it over. They're telling us no.
I don't know much about it, but that's what it is, ain't no more than I do.
Well, anyway, so everybody's aware of it. And maybe in the meantime, we can ask them more questions about pre-planning the switchgear install, but they seem pretty adamant that it wasn't a lot they could do.
So closing the courthouse down would probably depend more on the courts than anything else.
Well, that's the first thing we all thought of, was the courts is gonna be more sticky than stickier with it.
Typically, they'll do prisoners at about 9 o'clock. That would just be anybody who got picked up the day before. I guess if you commit a crime on Friday, the holiday weekend, you're gonna expect to get out until Tuesday anyway.
I guess that's something to ask them. What about this scenario? That way we're less intrusive and have less issues with courts.
I don't think the judges will mind 4-day weekend. I know one that would.
We didn't figure there'd be a lot of pushback about.
It's not even district court.
Anybody demanding to work that day.
It's typically county court. In any district court, that would be continued. Somebody's trial gets moved, it gets moved. It's the criminal docket in county court that's usually.
Because there's a time frame when they need to be
Yes,
in court, correct?
roughly speaking, yes.
And that notice is how much did you say, 60 days?
Well, ideally, it would be that way, you have to get everything moved and those, but
When will we know when the park actually
He said it was scheduled now, scheduled for delivery, the switch for July 26th. It's already been pushed out once, right?
I don't remember the timeline that he said we got
So
to
you-
promise and then.
That's the switch, now the generator, not a problem, right?
Oh, it's not here yet either. Is it?
I can't
No,
say
okay,
one
so-
way or the other.
But the switchgear, which is key to the whole thing.
That's-
you have to have switchgear.
that's the
Those are
safety.
pretty fabricated.
And so where it's been pushed out and considering the climate with getting supplies, you hate to plan on it being here July 26th, make all these arrangements and then it not show up July
And I didn't
26th.
ask Neil, I assume that's an all-weather switchgear container. The ones we put in, we opted to put the structures over them anyway. They're not low for fourth floor down there. Trying to work on something that's raining, everybody does freestand them. Basically, you would, when you pour your pad, or you're gonna set your gen set, you'll typically oversize the pad. You run your leads up, and you'll use anchor bolts, or you'll just put dollars down in the pour, below grade. And that's where you mount your switch gear. Or you can put it on the sides of the building, but probably part of the structure, separate gen set.
And we're gonna put a fence around that, but you're thinking maybe if we close it in a building.
Well, might not have to go to that extreme, but your, co-op had built 15 outdoor dump sites, bunkers, bins, and all the other locations left their switch gear just out there. So you're out there in the rain and the snow and it's blowing, and you're in the panel, and you're trying to troubleshoot why that conveyor won't run. You're right there, and you got stuff, moisture. So we just, everyone we built them off the assumption we're gonna close the pad and the switch gear. And after the fact, we just put the structure down.
That might be better than putting a fence around it, huh?
Well, you have to word it, if you do that, correct me if I'm wrong, I probably will, but make sure that pad is large enough to allow for that, so we get our clearances versus just being out in the open.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a plan for that.
And you factored in the cost of the fence, did we not?
Yes.
Brandon did, didn't it?
Yes. There's it was $180,000 for the generator and $4,000+ for the pad and the fence. And that is a line item in the building fund, not our fund.
Yeah, and that's the other, there's a plus to this, we can roll forward the budget year.
Yes.
Because that popped up in that discussion, it's like, okay, refresh my memory, it's ARPA money, it's building the ground.
The generator is not here yet. It is scheduled for delivery June 13th. And then the switch July 26th. Which is already.
CARES Act. The generator CARES Act.
There was discussion about it after the budget was adopted, it was in the building. That's where it was budgeted.
And what is the dilemma if we take it out of that fund and put it somewhere else?
According to Susan Lee, with what she did with the lit stuff, you could probably still do it and not really affect us. The part that we cannot take out and, because it will affect us is the emergency management building. That one was a lit exception, that one will.
We pushed that down the road already. Kicked it down the road already.
We've actually got that money collected for that already.
Like 2 years ago.
I saw that, I was looking at that this week.
Okay, anything else come for the board?